Marvel Superheroes is right around the corner, bringing with it a ton of great new cards for your Commander decks. The best new card, we're going to get right to it, the number one best new card from Marvel Superheroes for the Commander 99, well, it's sure to be a slam dunk auto include across a ton of strategies for both early game acceleration and late game utility. Mind Stone is an artifact for 2 mana that can tap to add colorless. You can spend 1 and tap to sacrifice Mind Stone, which allows you to draw a card. So this is a pretty decent mana rock, giving you late game value when that extra mana becomes less useful. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Let me look at the script here. Mind Stone, top 4, top 3, top 1. Oh! It's the Mind Stone, not Mind Stone. We got this mixed up, totally wrong here. All right, fixed. Let's start over, shall we? Marvel Superheroes is right around the corner, bringing with it a ton of great new cards for your Commander decks, and the best of them is sure to be a slam dunk auto include across a ton of strategies from early game acceleration to late game utility. The Mind Stone is a 2 mana rock with added late game value for when the extra mana it provides becomes less useful. I'm so sorry for confusing the Mind Stone with Mind Stone. I don't know how that happened, given how different the 2 cards are. I mean, look at them. What possible excuse do I have for getting those cards mixed up? The Mind Stone is obviously going to be a great card in Commander. It is the second installment in the Infinity Gem cycle that began with the Soul Stone in the Spider-Man set. According to Wikipedia, there are 6 Infinity Stones total, which means there are likely to be 4 more of these. 1 for each remaining color, and another that I'm guessing will be colorless. I guess we should be glad that the Mind Stone wasn't the colorless Infinity Stone. Otherwise, the confusion problem would be even worse. But even though the Mind Stone is probably the best new card for the Commander 99, I don't want to talk about the Mind Stone today. I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk about the Mind Stone today. That's because everyone and their mother of machines knows that the Mind Stone is going to be great in just about any white Commander deck, and there's just way too many great cards for Commander from Marvel Superheroes to waste any more time talking about yet another $80 to $100 auto include. So presented here are the top 7 cards from Marvel Superheroes for your Commander 99 that are not the Mind Stone. Again, we're only looking at cards for the 99 here, so any legendaries we mention are not being discussed as Commander, but as a part of your Commander deck. So without further ado, let's begin. And you know, many Magic the Gathering players say they are getting tired of so many Magic the Gathering sets, from Spider-Man to Lorwyn to Marvel to Star Trek to Reality Fracture to The Office to Ninja Turtles. Did we go back to Alara yet? Ooh, I can see why so many Magic the Gathering players might be feeling fatigued. But it's not Magic. I love Magic. Maybe you need a new mattress. That's right, it's an ad. The whole thing's an ad. It's for a mattress and a pillow, and we're selling things that make you go to get a better night's sleep because it's Helix. It's a Helix ad. That's right, you're not tired of Magic the Gathering. You're tired because you got a bad mattress. You got an old mattress. You're sick of your mattress. Well, now you got Helix, sponsor of this video. Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your personal needs. And it's all conveniently shipped right to your door. Don't know what mattress you need? Well, you don't need to worry because you got Helix's sleep quiz matching you to the perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. Best of all, you don't have to worry with Helix because they offer a 120-night sleep trial where you can test out your mattress and ensure that you love it. And all Helix mattresses come with a limited lifetime warranty. So sleep easy on a Helix. Oh, and sleep easy on a new Helix pillow. You know, there's some kind of science thing or material, or this thing stays cool to the touch all night. Good night. Upgrade your comfort without spending too much money. Thanks to Helix, these provide both comfort and support. So you can invest in a durable pillow that uses premium memory foam, which keeps its shape and feel over time. So get ready for a good night's sleep with Helix, the best night's sleep that you've had in a while. And to thank you, you can just go to helixsleep.com/Tolarian to take advantage of their 4th of July sale and get 20% off site-wide. So be on the lookout for additional sales on the Helix site just by scanning this QR code or following the link in this video's description. And thank you, Helix, not just for sponsoring, for a great night's sleep. So what are the top 7 cards for the Commander 99 that are not Mind Stone? I mean, the Mind Stone? Well, first up, we have an unassuming little 1-mana enchantment with the new plan subtype. And best of all, it's an uncommon. Political Triumph is a white plan for a single mana that reads, whenever a creature you control enters, scry 1 and put a plan counter on this enchantment. When the 4th counter gets added, sacrifice it, draw a card, and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Political Triumph may not come across as a powerful card at first glance, but the value being packed into a single white mana makes this card absolutely worthy of inclusion among the very best for Commander from Marvel. Imagine this card was a 1-mana sorcery that read, scry 1 4 times, draw a card, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Would you want to run that in a go-wide creature deck? I mean, that's basically what this card is. In many white decks, getting Political Triumph to 4 counters is trivial. If anything, the downside with this card is that it reaches its maximum value too quickly. To get the most out of it, you want a very wide board of creatures. You therefore have to be mindful of how early you run this out. Yes, it's still great as a turn 1 play, but don't be afraid to hold it until later in the game when you can sneak it on the board first for a single mana right before you pop off with a ton of token generation. Something to remember with Political Triumph is that even though it sacrifices after the 4th time you trigger it, if other ETB triggers from the Triumph are still on the stack when it sacrifices, you'll still get those scries. For example, if Triumph is on 3 counters and you cast Raise the Alarm, Triumph will trigger twice. The first one will finish the plan, then the second scry trigger will resolve. Is Political Triumph more of an auto-include in white decks than the Mind Stone? No, it's not. But it is certainly a more interesting card than the Mind Stone, and it's an uncommon rather than a whatever $100 mythic. That alone makes it worthy of inclusion on this list, in my most humble opinion. Alright, next up on the list is another plan with a much more powerful effect than Political Triumph. And this one is actually a rare. Construct a Cosmic Cube is a 3-mana black plan that reads, whenever you draw your second card in a turn, create a 2/1 villain with Menace. Then, on your 7th plan counter, sacrifice Construct a Cosmic Cube to gain control of target opponent during their next turn. Construct a Cosmic Cube is an excellent card if you're able to trigger it every turn, ideally on your opponent's turn as well. This means it's at its best in a blue-black deck, though plenty of other black decks are more than capable of drawing extra cards. Paired with a Phyrexian Arena, for instance, Construct a Cosmic Cube will generate a 2/1 every turn for 7 turns running. Because the villains this plan makes are hard to block, Construct a Cosmic Cube is especially great in decks that profit off combat triggers. Ninjutsu decks can easily turn your villains into unblocked ninjas, and even without the added bonus of combat triggers, a board of 7 menacing 2/1s is a potent threat well into the late game. None of this gets into what happens when you complete the plan. Taking control of an opponent's turn is an absolutely devastating effect. Not only can you set the opponent you control back to the Stone Age with control over a single turn late in the game, but you can use their cards to punish the other 2 players at the table too. And unlike Emrakul the Promised End's Mindslaver ability, Construct a Cosmic Cube doesn't let your poor broken opponent take an extra makeup turn when you're done. Yeah, Emrakul, more like Emrafool, am I right, kids? If one stolen turn isn't enough, then replay the plan with Graveyard Recursion like Muldrotha. And if 7 triggers will take you too long, a Proliferate deck can speed forward to the end of the plan well ahead of schedule. All of this value for just 3 initial mana investment? What a card! Coming in at number 5, it's Season 5 of Shuffle Up and Play. Our Kickstarter is live right now where we are offering you some amazing backer rewards, like a token pack of some of your favorite Shuffle Up and Play guests, from Tappy Toe Claus to this Tutu Joey zombie, to Olivia making thopters at home, Gavin Verhey, our hero, Carmen Clomparens, a poison token, or just Covert Go Blue as a bird token. All the funds from this Kickstarter go to help making Shuffle Up and Play Season 5 a reality. It's linked right now in the video description, and it's a great way to show your support to keep that show going and growing strong. And now, moving right along to number 5 on our list. Coming in at number 5 on the list, we have another flexible creature-based non-creature permanent. You heard me, a flexible creature-based non-creature permanent. This time at mythic rarity. Woohoo! If you liked constructing a cosmic cube, you're gonna love the cosmic cube itself. Cosmic Cube is a 5-mana colorless artifact with Word 2. Whenever you attack, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them with mana value less than or equal to the greatest power among attacking creatures you control without paying its mana cost. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Cosmic Cube has an expensive upfront cost, true, but if you have a creature that's large enough already in play and primed to attack, it can make up for that cost right away. A 6-power attacker, for example, is capable of actually netting you mana with the cube's attack trigger, provided you have a 6-mana spell in the top 6 cards of your library. Cosmic Cube's attack trigger is essentially a more powerful version of the original Velomachus Lorehold's attack trigger. Sure, it looks at one fewer card, and yes, you need a creature in play to trigger the cube, but the Cosmic Cube can cast a spell of any type, not just instants and sorceries. It also can cast more expensive spells than Lorehold can, again if you have a bigger creature in play. That said, I would love to include Cosmic Cube in a Velomachus Lorehold deck. You're already set up to make great use of this kind of trigger, and Cosmic Cube would simply give you a second instance of that trigger whenever Lorehold attacks. But really, Cosmic Cube is great in pretty much any deck that often finds itself attacking with a big creature. By big, I mean anything with 4 power or more. You can run this in a go-wide deck rather than a go-tall one if you want, but I believe it's less of a slam dunk inclusion in those strategies. Cosmic Cube is a really cool card that's capable of tons of wild interactions. An extra turn spell is one of the best things you could hit off the cube, but you can also hit a Crater Hoof or an extra combat step card to totally crush your opponents. Next up, we have the first legendary on our list, and while this one would certainly be a good commander, I actually like him better in the 99 rather than in the command zone. Who am I talking about? Well, Thor, God of Thunder, is a 5/5 God Warrior hero with flying for 3 generic and 2 red mana. When he enters, exile an equipment, instant, or sorcery from your graveyard. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Also, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Thor deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target. Essentially, Thor is a Warstrom Surge for spells, but on a flying stick. And unlike Warstrom Surge, Thor gets value immediately by rebuying whatever spell you exile from the graveyard. That makes his floor about as high as you could reasonably expect from a card, with a ceiling that's this atmospheric. Your opponents are going to want to get Thor off the battlefield as quickly as possible, but because you get to recast a spell when he enters, you're still up a card on that exchange even if he dies before you trigger him a single time. Thor is a phenomenal payoff in storm decks, traditional spellslinger decks, control decks, artifact decks, you name it. Use him to clear away a board of threatening attackers, or just send damage straight to the face to close out games. Thor loves big spells, small spells, and in-between spells. Instants, sorceries, artifacts, enchantments, all of them become far more valuable when they're also blasting any target for their mana value the moment they're put on the stack. And on top of all of this, Thor is just a 5-power attacker in the air for 5 mana. What an absolute powerhouse. Suck it, Baneslayer Angel. We have yet another legendary coming in at number 3. It's almost like there's so many legendaries in this set. Surely most picks are going to be legendary, but anyway, that's another video. I think I did that video already. That's another video. And as before, this one would be good in Commander, but due to one specific synergy, I actually think he's much better suited for the 99. Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal, is a 2/4 human scientist hero for 3 generic and a blue mana. John Krasinski has Reach, a flavorful ability, though not one you normally see on a mono-blue creature. And whenever one or more tokens you control enter, you may draw a card. And no, there's no once per turn clause on Mr. Fantastic, and that makes this card totally disgusting in Commander. See, Mr. Fantastic draws your deck with the Locust God. All you need to do is draw a single card via any means to begin the loop. Locust God makes a flyer, and so on and so forth. And because Mr. Fantastic is a May ability, you can end that loop before you deck yourself out. With an Impact Tremors in play, that wins the game immediately, as does a Jace Wielder of Mysteries. If your board of Hasty Locusts can't get the job done right away, simply pass the turn with a massive board and a fistful of counters. It's all up to you. Your whole deck is in your hands. Locust God being Izzet precludes you executing this combo with Mr. Fantastic in the command zone. And honestly, I think his effect is too generic to be worth running as a commander anyway. But even without going infinite, Mr. Fantastic is an absurd card draw engine. Blue isn't quite as good a home for a Token Matters card as white or green. But honestly, even saying that is splitting hairs. Blue has plenty of access to clues, thopters, fairies, you name it. There really are very few blue decks that wouldn't be thrilled to have a copy of Mr. Fantastic on the battlefield. He even has a great stat line for blocking flyers in the air. What's not to love with this busted, stretchy guy? So what are the 2 best cards for Commander from Marvel superheroes that are not named Mind Stone? Well, Mole Man, Moloid Monster, is a 1/1 legendary human villain. Mole Man lets you play lands from your graveyard, and whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1 green minion token named Moloid that mills 1 whenever it attacks. Frankly, I am getting sick of talking about Crucible of Worlds effects during preview season, but Jesse keeps writing about Crucible of Worlds during preview season because Wizards of the Coast keeps printing Crucible of Worlds effects during preview season, so here we go. Seriously, Crucible of Worlds used to be rare. It was in a class of its own for nearly 15 years. Yes, it is great that players can have access to this effect at a budget. This is getting ridiculous. A Crucible of Worlds with a landfall-based token generator already attached is making life way too easy for an archetype that many Magic the Gathering players would argue has too many tools already. And the tokens even mill when they attack, meaning the Mole Man fuels itself. Next, you're gonna tell me they're printing an Exploration attached to a Crucible of Worlds with landfall, mill a card. Oh, wait, they already did that one! It's at the point where I'm wondering if I should just start skipping over the new Crucibles during preview season. But if it's a video about the best cards from a new set for Commander, omitting busted new variations on Crucible of Worlds feels like malpractice. All joking aside, I would really love to hear what you think about this. Do you want me to ignore new Crucibles in my preview season videos, even when they do something new and innovative on top of letting you play lands from the graveyard? Let me know in the comments below, and whether or not you think I'm being a little silly about this whole too many Crucible effect cards thing. In the meantime, let's move on to a different and better permanent card that costs 2 and a green. The number 1 best new card from Marvel's superheroes for Commander is... Oh my god, I was right. They did a card where they're eating shawarma. I think. Is he eating shawarma or is that a burrito? It's a $20 burrito. Anyway, it's Heroic Feast. Heroic Feast is an enchantment for 2 generic and a green mana. When it enters, create a food token. Whenever you gain life, choose up to that many creatures you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Heroic Feast is essentially a Heliod sun-crowned in the other color that is excellent at gaining life. No, it doesn't grant creatures lifelink on its own, but it makes up for that shortcoming with a far more powerful life gain payoff. Instead of simply giving a single measly creature a +1/+1 counter for gaining any amount of life, you get to spread +1/+1 counters to several of your creatures at once. Provided, of course, you're gaining life in chunks larger than 1. First up, the food token Heroic Feast makes when it enters. And as for the combo side of Heroic Feast, the Spike Feeder combo actually generates infinite power in addition to infinite life. Because Spike Feeder gains you 2 life for each counter you remove, you can use one of the counters Heroic Feast grants to restock the feeder, and the other one to start growing the rest of your creatures ad nauseum. With a Walking Ballista or Triskelion in play, that ends the game on the spot. Heroic Feast is the first example of this Heliod-style effect that Mono Green has ever gotten. Once again, green proves it can do anything white can do, but better. Hey, I did a whole video about that, remember? Click the eye, it was a comedy skit video. Remember when I did those? You'll get to see Black Mana Prof. But those are just my picks, and now I want to hear from you. Were there any cards for the Commander 99 that I left off this list that you thought were worthy of mention? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking for some Commander content that's really universes beyond, make sure to watch the season finale of Shuffle Up and Play, where Cosmonaut Marcus joins us yet again to rage bait the professor with, well, you gotta see what he brings. And also, there are Aristic Studies in Cal. It's a great game if you like seeing me annoyed, which apparently many of you do. Click the eye or linked in this video's description. It's actually a lot of fun.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
What's up? It's Shuffle Up and Play with fans. We are playing with fan decks. Also, we're playing with a very special guest.
I'm Mark Rosewater. I'm the head designer for Magic the Gathering.
30 years, and you have not killed it yet.
I keep trying every year.
I know you do.
This goal of destroying Magic, Mark, you're not delivering, so.
And the angel's gonna hit. Down to 6.
Down to 6.
Hey! Blood for the Blood God.
Uh-oh. So the cynical loner is coming at Mark.
I will take 3 cynicism.
So we're doing a fair, logical attack here. Would you agree, Mr. Rosewater? This is logic. This is gameplay.
It's actually politics.
How is that politics?